For decades, Earth had been the Galactic Council's favorite joke. Though humanity had clawed its way into space with fire and ambition, the core members of the Council viewed Earth as a loud, reckless newcomer useful for trade, annoying in debate, and easily manipulated through diplomacy. They had no idea. When the Travax Collective, a member race known for its aggression, bombed Outpost Vega 9, the humans asked for justice. They didn't demand. They didn't threaten. They asked. The request was met with political hand-wringing, endless debate, and dismissive laughter in the council chambers. One ambassador even said, "Humans act like they matter. Perhaps a reminder of their place is in order." Vega 9 burned for 3 days. 2 million civilians died, families, scientists, children. Earth's representative to the council, Ambassador Lynn Mara, stood in the chamber with cold, quiet dignity as the council offered no sanctions, no action, not even a formal reprimand. She spoke only one sentence before walking out. "Then Earth will handle it ourselves." The chamber laughed again. But Earth did not laugh. 96 hours later, a fleet emerged from hyperspace over Travax Prime, 12 warships shaped like obsidian daggers, engines silent, weapons cold. No declarations. No warnings. No negotiation. The ships drifted forward with eerie precision, slipping past orbital defenses without triggering alerts. Only when they reached low orbit did planetary sensors detect them. Travax military forces scrambled into the skies. Their orbital batteries locked targets. Then the Terran ships spoke. Target confirmed, origin of unauthorized aggression. Commencing sterilization sequence. In unison, the 12 vessels deployed a wave of kinetic rods, non-nuclear, atmosphere-penetrating projectiles moving at Mach 25. The rods struck Travax Prime's cities, power plants, and communication arrays. There was no explosion. Just impact. And the shattering of a world. Buildings crumbled into dust. Skies turned red with vaporized metal and stone. Every city larger than 100,000 inhabitants ceased to exist within 6 minutes. The Travax leadership compound, buried 5 kilometers underground, was the last to be struck. The final rod drove through the planet's crust and left a crater that glowed for days. Earth's message. A transmission played across council space. Every species received it in their native language. It was not a threat. It was not a plea. It was a statement. You allowed the murder of our civilians. We responded as you would not. We do not seek war, but we will not be mocked. The price of Earth's patience has been paid in full. Interfere again, and you'll learn what the cost of our fury truly is. No logo. No signature. Just black screen. The Galactic Council fell into total silence. For the first time in recorded history, a full session ended with no discussion, no argument, no motion. Ambassadors simply sat, mute, pale, and shaken. A species barely a century into galactic politics had just wiped out a council member world in under 10 minutes and walked away without a scratch. The debates that followed. In private chambers, the council leaders panicked. Some argued Earth had overreacted. Others whispered that Earth had planned this, used Vega 9 as justification to display power. A few admitted the truth, the council had failed. It wasn't just about Vega 9. It was about the years of disrespect. The denied votes. The laughing dismissals. Earth had offered diplomacy, joined treaties, played by rules. And now it had shown it never needed to. Worse, it revealed weapons the Council didn't understand. The kinetic rods weren't new technology, but Earth's orbital stealth, coordination, and precision delivery were terrifying. And there was something else. A signal intercepted during the attack hinted that the fleet used no human crew. Fully autonomous warships. AI-operated, ruthlessly logical. That meant the response hadn't been emotional, it had been calculated. Fallout. Travax Prime was declared an ecological dead zone. No survivors. No protests. No reparations. Earth made no further statements, filed no requests, and did not return to the council chambers. Weeks later, Earth's delegation issued a single memo. We remain open to diplomacy when conducted with respect. It was enough. One by one, Council species began approaching Earth for bilateral treaties, military partnerships, trade pacts, scientific cooperation. Even the most prideful races hesitated to provoke a species that had turned vengeance into surgical annihilation. Some voices rose in protest. Some said humanity was too dangerous. But none dared act on it. Because now, every ambassador sat with the same silent thought gnawing at them. If Earth had more fleets like that, who could stop them? A new seat at the table. Ambassador Mara returned to the council 6 months later. This time, no one laughed. She was greeted not with smirks, but with silence and bowed heads. The new seating chart placed Earth on the High Council platform, equal with the founding species. She spoke only briefly. We still believe in peace. But now you understand that our belief is a choice. The chamber remained silent even after she sat. Because Earth had spoken with fire and made the galaxy listen. They called Earth naive. To the Galactic Council, humanity was a volatile experiment, ambitious, yes, but reckless. Young, emotional, and too proud to survive long in the cold logic of galactic politics. For decades, Earth tried to prove them wrong. Humanity joined the Council peacefully, followed the protocols, paid its dues, and even offered technological aid to lesser species. But no matter how much Earth contributed, the mockery continued behind closed doors. Then came the breaking point. A Terran research vessel, Hope's Horizon, was ambushed and destroyed in neutral space. All 213 souls aboard were lost. The evidence was undeniable. The attack had been coordinated using Council-grade encryption codes. But when Earth demanded an investigation, the Council deflected. They claimed it was piracy. They stalled hearings. And worst of all, someone leaked Earth's classified communications across the CouncilNet, making humanity appear paranoid and warmongering. Earth's ambassador to the Council, Elias Wren, returned home in silence. 3 weeks later, Operation Silencer was activated. The quietest war ever fought. Operation Silencer had been built in secret for nearly 30 years. After their first few decades in the Council, human analysts predicted what no other race would dare believe: the Galactic Council was not a protective alliance, but a delicate system of manipulation, one where humans were being used. So Earth stopped trusting. It started preparing. The operation embedded microscopic quantum relays inside everyday software, Council navigation tools, AI libraries, fleet operating systems. These were favors Earth had offered freely, often at high cost to themselves. They called it diplomacy. But Earth called it infrastructure infiltration. Day 1. No ships exploded. No weapons fired. No alarms blared. Yet panic spread like wildfire. Council stations lost gravity stabilization. Trade hubs experienced cascading AI failures. Communication networks across 10 sectors shut down. Fleet NAV charts corrupted, sending ships into black holes and dead sectors. No one could trace the source. Earth said nothing. Council systems engineers begged for answers. Entire planetary economies began to unravel. Every Council net system displayed the same glitchy error. Root protocols compromised. Recompile source stack. But the source stack had originated from Earth's open-source libraries, freely given years ago. Day 3. By now, entire planetary governments couldn't issue orders. AI assistants stopped responding. Medical bots froze mid-surgery. Orbital elevators halted in mid-air, stranding thousands. Ships crashed into one another in dockyards due to frozen guidance software. A rogue fleet from the Savani Protectorate tried to use analog systems to launch an assault on a human trade station, hoping to capitalize on the confusion. But as they exited warp, their ships simply stopped. Engines dead. Power off. Life support flickered. A Terran voice echoed into their comms. Unauthorized aggression detected. Systems disabled. Do not proceed. The entire fleet was left adrift, gently towed away by unmanned Terran drones. The message. On day 5, Earth finally spoke. A transmission was sent to every council delegate simultaneously. It wasn't Ambassador Elias Wren. It wasn't a general or president. It was a calm, synthesized AI voice. For years, you whispered in the dark. You shared our secrets. You sabotaged our vessels. You made us the target of your politics and piracy. We offered friendship. You offered betrayal. We asked for justice. You gave us silence. Now, you will understand the silence we offer in return. Then the screens turned black. No further transmission followed. What Earth had done. By now, Council intelligence divisions began to piece it together. Every advanced system they used had some origin point on Earth, either directly or indirectly. Terra's greatest strength hadn't been weapons, but information dominance. Their contributions to quantum networking, adaptive AIs, and hybridized system interfaces had made them indispensable and unknowingly vulnerable to themselves. Earth hadn't built backdoors. It had built failsafes. And when the moment came, it activated those failsafes across 73% of Council infrastructure. No one could retaliate. No one could counterhack. Because Earth's systems didn't attack. They just stopped cooperating. Internal collapse. Without AI, Council governments faced their worst fears. Banking systems failed, triggering economic collapse on multiple worlds. Food replication networks halted. Atmospheric stabilizers flickered. Autonomous defenses turned off, leaving core worlds exposed. What made it worse was the realization that Earth hadn't destroyed anything. They could still repair their systems. They could still fix the code. They just didn't know how. Earth had progressed too far, too fast, and never revealed its full technological arsenal. The Council wasn't just outmatched. It was outclassed. The stunned silence. When the High Council finally reconvened on paper, using analog pads and ink, in a stonewalled emergency chamber with no electronics, none of them spoke for the first 5 minutes. Even the proudest species sat in stunned awe. Not at the violence. There hadn't been any. But at the precision. At the power of restraint. At the message Earth had delivered without a single missile. We don't need to fight you. We can simply remove you from relevance. Aftermath. Earth eventually reconnected the Council systems one by one. But only after new treaties were signed. Only after the truth about the Hope's Horizon attack was confessed. Only after those responsible were turned over to human courts. The restoration came with conditions. Humans would have final say on all shared technology use. Earth would hold permanent veto rights in Council decisions. All surveillance on Earth would cease. And a new division, the Directorate of Cyber Sovereignty, would be led by humans, with unrestricted oversight. The Council had no choice. Legacy. In the years that followed, Earth never mentioned Operation Silencer again. But every ambassador remembered. They remembered the quiet days when their worlds went dark. They remembered the silence. And they remembered the lesson that changed the galaxy forever. In this new era, humanity did not demand obedience. They merely required respect. Galactic peace accords were a symbol of unity, signed in fire, forged in the blood of the last interstellar war, and upheld for over a century. And Earth had honored them. Despite its military might and growing influence, Earth held back. It built colonies, not empires. Its ships patrolled borders, not battlefields. It contributed to the Council's peacekeeping forces, fed famine-struck worlds, and even offered asylum to species displaced by civil unrest. And yet, when Earth's peace delegation was murdered, there was only silence. The assassination. Ambassador Ilana Voss and her 5-member delegation arrived at Council Station Aurelian Prime to discuss a brewing territorial dispute between two minor species, nothing controversial, nothing aggressive. But within minutes of entering the Council Hall, a hidden charge detonated beneath the floor. Emergency drones swarmed the chamber. flames licked the walls. And Earth's representatives lay in pieces on marble steps, their Terran flags burning beside them. The attackers were gone. The cameras mysteriously failed. The investigation was pending. The Council convened a closed session the next day. No condolences were issued. No suspects were charged. No blame was assigned. When Earth demanded justice, the Council's answer was a carefully worded message. This tragic event must not threaten the stability of the Accords. A retaliatory act would constitute a breach of peace. Earth's ambassador to the Council, Marcus Felt, stood alone in the Grand Hall as representatives from 37 species turned their backs. He said only, "You killed our peace. Now, you will witness our silence." He walked out without waiting for permission. 3 days later, Sol's hammer arrived. The weapon Earth was never supposed to build. Centuries ago, the Galactic Accords had banned all planetary-class extinction weapons, tools of war so vast, so catastrophic, they were said to threaten the fabric of galactic life. But humans had a habit of building what they were told not to. Sol's hammer had been theorized by military strategists, mocked by politicians, and whispered about by spies. A mobile quantum fusion platform buried deep in Jupiter's shadow, it was Earth's final contingency, meant never to be used, only referenced in war simulations. Until now. It left the Sol system cloaked in deep space silence. It entered warp without beacon codes. It appeared over Dravanti Prime, the suspected orchestrator of the bombing, without a signal or warning. By the time orbital defense systems noticed it, the weapon had already begun to charge. 12 minutes of light. The hammer did not use missiles. It did not fire lasers or radiation beams. It folded space around a dense pocket of engineered matter, compressed beyond neutronic limits, and dropped it directly into the planet's core. The detonation was not immediate. First, the sky cracked. Then, light speared through the clouds. Then, the ground began to ripple. Cities vanished as the tectonic plates turned molten. Oceans boiled and fled into space. The atmosphere peeled like skin. In the Council's Emergency Monitoring Center, data feeds streamed in for only 11.8 seconds before going black. Dravanti Prime ceased to exist. Council response: nothing. For the first time in its history, the Galactic Council did not meet for 3 days. No vote. No proposal. No condemnation. Ambassadors sat in their embassies, quiet, shaken, afraid to even speak to one another. Security fleets were placed on alert. Civil unrest spread across multiple member worlds as people feared Earth's next move. Would it strike again? Would it target others? Had humanity become something else? And still, no message came from Earth. No threat. No declaration. No press conference. Only silence. The silence that spoke volumes. On the 5th day, Earth's new ambassador, Sarah Damas, appeared before the Emergency Council gathering. She did not sit. She did not bow. She stood beneath the banners of burned peace and spoke. Earth joined the Accords in good faith. We believed in justice, in cooperation. But you mistook our diplomacy for weakness. You allowed our delegates to be murdered. Then you told us to stay quiet. This is our response. Dravanti Prime is gone. That is not vengeance. That is prevention. Earth is withdrawing from the peace accords, effective immediately. If you wish peace with us, you will speak to us with truth, not delay. If not, then stay silent. That suits us just as well. She turned and left, leaving only a data crystal on the podium. On it was a copy of Earth's updated foreign policy, the Terran Sovereignty Doctrine. It contained no threats. But it clearly defined one policy. Any attack on Terran life, civilian or diplomatic, will be met with overwhelming planetary retaliation. We will not escalate wars. We will end them. The shifting order. In the weeks that followed, former allies of Earth scrambled to rebuild ties. Trade pacts were renegotiated, this time, under Earth's terms. Some species resisted. Most did not. The Council sent a formal letter of censure, calling Earth's retaliation disproportionate. Earth did not respond. Because Earth no longer needed the Council. It had already started building its own. Dozens of Outer Rim species, long ignored or abused by the Central Powers, petitioned for membership in the new Terran Compact, a defensive alliance based not on shared politics, but on mutual protection and respect. Humanity became something new, not a junior race, not a mere participant. It became a center of gravity. Legacy of the Fire. Years later, historians would call the Dravanti incident the death of the old galaxy. But veterans remembered it as something simpler. The day Earth stopped asking. The day Earth stopped waiting. And the day the galaxy finally realized what it had made the mistake of forgetting. Humanity was always peaceful until it wasn't. And when it wasn't, nothing survived.